is the first community meeting of 2022. I think I'll start us off just by going over the status of a few releases. Most imminent is 3.21.3, which is in the process of being cut as we speak. I think some images have been pushed, others are being pushed. Tag is published, and then docs will come shortly after. We'll talk a little bit more about what's in this one. There's really one primary bug fix that this is meant to deliver, and it's related to some stalling issues we were seeing with Typha that ultimately ended up being a bug in the Kubernetes client library. So I'll share a bit about that when we get to the issues section. But main thing is if you're on 321, you'll want to be on 321.3 because it's a pretty substantial nasty bug. And then for 322, which is also getting pretty close, we're looking at probably about a 2-week time frame for that at this point. We've got a bunch of stuff in the works, so it was a little bit of a weird release cycle just with all the holidays in between, but we've managed to squeeze in a bunch of bug fixes, as well as some pretty cool features. So one that's top of mind that we're getting close to is VPP beta. I think Sean's going to be looking at, there's really two last bits there. Sort of a full code review, which Sean's going to be taking on next week. And getting all of the CI nice and happy, which I'm glad Lance is here now because he's been looking at that. At the moment, I don't foresee any problems getting that done though. So VPP data plane to beta is a big one for 322. We've also got a few other things. So we've added support to Calico Cuddle to be able to convert Kubernetes network policies to Calico network policies. I know this is a thing for some users who don't like to have to mix and match API versions, but do want to take advantage of Calico policies. So they've started with some Kubernetes policies. They've gotten hooked on the whole network policy drug and want some more. And so this should let them seamlessly transition any network policies they've written from the Kubernetes API group to the Calico one.
Is there any right process for doing that in terms of, do you just put them alongside each other and then strip off the old one? Is there any, right or wrong way to approach doing that?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure there's a wrong way to do it. I think we've got docs for it in the works, or maybe already merged, I can't remember. But it's going to be one of two things. It's either going to be apply the new ones and then delete the old, because it should be fine to have them sit side by side because they're doing the exact same thing. Or you can delete the old, you'll have a window where there's no policy enforcement, and then create the new. Either is fine depending on your needs, I hope. If it's not, then there's something wrong. Yeah, we've been working on that. We also got a new Kubernetes auto detection method for IP addresses, which has been pretty sought after. That's been a community contribution that I believe I called out last time, but that's been merged and docs are in and operator support is in as well. So if you want to be able to set your node BGP address the address that Calico uses on each node based off of the Kubernetes nodes API. You'll be able to do that now, and that should be a pretty stable option for folks who are hitting issues with the existing ones. I know there's the main area there was around like virtual IPs allocated to nodes. Calico was picking that up and doing the wrong thing with that.
The note that Chris wrote, that's not quite right, is it? Put auto heps.
No, but that is another thing we are doing in the release.
Okay.
So did I leave it there?
Apologies. Do you want to tidy that up?
Yeah, I can add the auto detection method bit.
Oh, it's right. I gotcha. Cool.
We've got that coming. Yeah.
That's the better word. That's the better description, isn't it? Got it. I'll leave the other one there to discuss in a moment.
Yes, we can discuss that now because we are also enhancing the auto host endpoints feature, something that was added a few releases ago, with some extra information. Basically, auto heps have a set of expected IPs on them that we were populating based off of the Calico data model. We're augmenting that to also include addresses coming from Kubernetes so that we should have a bunch more information about the node. That means that your policies that target these auto heps will behave better. Basically, it'll work for more addresses that are on the node than just the ones that Calico used to know about. So that'll be pretty good. And I think that's it. Did I talk about? Yeah, I didn't talk about dual stack. Another really exciting community contribution is dual stack support for host local Ipam. So if you're using Canal or if you're using just host local with Calico routing, you should be able to use both IPv4 and IPv6, or I believe even just pure IPv6 with this new enhancement. So that's pretty cool.
So Casey, host local isn't something that it's something we include in, right? So were we just picking up a new change, or was there something on our side that had to change with it too?
The host local plugin already has IPv6 support in it and has for a while. But the way that it integrates with Calico is that we have some special logic in our CNI plugin to fill in the CIDR for the host local plugin based off of the Kubernetes API. So nodes have this spec.podCIDR field, which with the advent of dual stack became spec.podciders with an S. Our code was still only looking at the legacy v4 only field. So there's a new, we have some magic config option you can put in the CNI config called use podcider. And when you do that, it triggers our CNI plugin to replace that value with the value from the Kubernetes API for that node. There's now a v6 version of that magic field. And when you set that, it'll find the v6 podcider from the new node.podciders array and fill that in.
Cool. And you said that's all done in, it's integrated with the operator too, because that would require a change there, right?
It would require a change there. It is not there yet. So it's present for manifest installs. That's a good call out. I don't think we've done the operator bit. Do you remember what we do in the operator for that case? Like what kind of work's required there?
I'm guessing it's probably just when host local is being used to add the use pod ciders, or like I think we just set that config.
We probably
Because that's
have
just in CNI.
validation right now that says you can't specify an IPv6 pool if use pod cider or if host local set. And so
Yeah, hopefully we do.
let's say that we do. We have validation against that, and so I'm guessing the work is stop validating that, and when an IPv6 pool is present, include this new field in the CNI config.
Yeah, I think so.
Doesn't sound super hard. Cool. Yeah, Chris, do you want to make a note of that somewhere, and then that'll remind me to get that done?
Yes, if I had caught it, I would have.
That's fine.
I'll message
I actually was listening, but I didn't catch what you wanted me to catch. Obviously.
You could probably just write down Casey do some work underneath.
I'll put a note there.
What was it, Casey? I'm not even to do some work. Go on, Eric. I'm interested to see what you type now. He does some work. Yeah.
Oh, Eric's gonna really
Okay,
spell it
right.
out.
Cool.
If you're gonna write it to that level of detail, you might as well just write the code, Eric.
I think he's just looking to show me up at this point.
I'm pretty knowledgeable on the operator, so it's pretty clear to me what needs to be done.
I think that's all I had for release check-ins. Nathan, did you have anything you wanted to say about VPP?
Sure. So we got an incoming call. Yeah, just really happy to be on the path to beta. That's really nice. Thanks thanks for the support and the continuing support for that. We did push some patches also to and did some release in the last weeks, improving, doing a bit of quality of life improvements. So improving, cleaning a bit the code to improve the life of Sean, hopefully. There's also some fixes in BGP, so improving the support that we offer of different BGP options. A few fixes on kind and on the operator support, so we should now be fully working with the operator. Also we're starting to focus again on the CI. So we had issues with the EKS Kubernetes versions that they default to. Trying to focus on that and track the CI results a bit more. Also to improve so to make the work of Lance a bit easier also. And finally, good news that fell yesterday. There are 2 talks that have been accepted with Chris and them at FOSDEM. So we're gonna hear. So one is going to be about the Calico VPP, and the other about multi-cluster on a single machine.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a lab playground.
Also.
Yeah, that's good news.
That's great news.
Did they change? It seemed like they changed it, so it looked like only one was accepted and then it changed. Or did we just not read it correctly?
No, so apparently they have a batch script running that dispatch the talks, and that script broke. So, and it also mixed people around. So we ended up being assigned on talks that weren't ours. So
FOSDEM do at the end of every FOSDEM, they do a session about how they actually do it. It's a really interesting show. If you should watch it, about how they cobble it all together on a shoestring. It's amazing.
And it's really the guys are fun also. And yeah, mostly it on my side.
Cool. Thanks, Nathan. Lance, have you had a chance to try out the operator VPP stuff yet?
We had a bit of a cock up with hash traces yesterday.
Oh yeah.
So everything's busted. Yeah, I will try it once everything's back up.
Yeah, Lance, I put a one line that may be incorrect in the minutes about the operator. If you can make that correct, that would be amazing. Thanks.
Yeah, those tend to get messed up. So I'm not worried about that. Eric, anything on operator world?
No, nothing that I remember. No, I think most of what's been covered previously is. I don't think there's any new developments I'm aware of. I think the non-root was with 321, so that's been out for a while. No, I don't think so.
Cool. No is an acceptable answer. If it wasn't, then I wouldn't have asked a question. In that case, let's switch on over to talk about some issues. I'm just gonna share my screen. Hopefully I will share the right thing. So you guys should see this. I don't know why it's freaking out. Do you see what looks like a GitHub page with a closed issue on it?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We also see the overlay of the other window that it thinks it's sharing or something. But we now it's.
Oh wait, now it's Oh wait.
It's because I resized it. I moved it to a new monitor. Maybe I just put it back on the old monitor.
Yeah, it's not happy about that. That's better.
Okay, I'll just have to look to my right then. I guess it doesn't like resizing of windows when it's sharing them. Yeah, so this guy was the one I was talking about with the 321.3 patch release. So we saw a couple issues of this form where it looked like routes were unexpectedly getting deleted, and Taifa had stale data that it was sending to Felix. And there's lots and lots of investigation and discussion. But ultimately, it came down to in 321, we started using the Kubernetes list paging client so that we could do our lists a bit more efficiently on real big clusters. So we introduced that for all of our resources, and it turns out there's a pretty nasty bug in that, which we raised here in Client Go, and which Sean subsequently submitted a fix for. Oh wait, this isn't his fix. This is his other issue that's linked to it. Yeah, this is the fix, roughly. So the list pager was setting a field on if you ended up needing to perform a paged list, so you got a continuation back and needed to send a second request, it wasn't formulating that request properly. And so the API server would reject that and you wouldn't get all of the data. And this was happening on any resource that had more than 500 of that resource in the cluster, because that's the default page size that Kubernetes uses. So if you had a cluster with 501 pods, you would hit this. If you had 499, you wouldn't. Same goes for network policies, etc. So we've got that fix in now, and like I said earlier, that release is going out. If you're on a small cluster, you probably wouldn't have noticed it, but otherwise, you'll want to pick up 321.3 as soon as it comes out.
So are we using a fork right now that has that fix? Or
Yeah, right now we have just forked the client Go release that we were using and put that fix in it. But I believe they have backported it. Can't find the exact thing. Yeah, I think this is the PR. And yeah, so we've got backports to a bunch of different versions here, it looks like. 123, 122, 121. So we'll be able to switch back to the upstream client Go like pretty soon. We just wanted to do that so we could get tests running against the fix and get a patch out before, not be tied to the client Go cycle. Let's spend a couple minutes just going through some newer issues. So we can get those triaged, unless there are other questions about that guy. Let me move you guys over to another screen so I can see you.
Was it a bug in client Go and that we didn't catch it properly, or was it just a bug in client Go? Not that it particularly matters, just for my interest.
I mean, it was a bug in client Go that we did not spot in our validation. And that's because it only happens on clusters with lots of resources,
Okay,
basically. Yeah, and it also only happens, trying to remember, like there's another condition on it, like you might not spot it until Typha restarts, sort of thing.
Triggered by Christmas holidays, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those bugs that's triggered by everybody being on vacation and us going through a major code base refactor, so that it was just the perfect storm. Yeah, so this guy is claiming that Calico node is crashing with a panic, and this log seems to suggest that he is right. Which sounds like a bug to me. I got cGertin14 confirming it. So we should not be doing that. 2 people hitting it.
are they both on ARM, it looks like?
They seem to be both on ARM, yeah. So this is likely an architecture thing. Yeah. Gonna throw that in the multi-architecture bucket. Cool. Vulnerabilities in Golang 1.16.7b7 used in Calico Cuddle, but also the rest of our code. I think we have already updated.
Yeah, latest Go build has 117.
Go build. So we use the 1.16 there, but Go boring version is 1.17. Yeah.
We'll
We
actually
need to make sure that we're updating it actually.
I was gonna say, yeah, his 321.3, will it have the?
I don't think that it will.
Oh, okay.
But we might be able to do a quick patch after that to also do this. I mean, I suspect that we're not impacted by this because I don't think we ever parse zip files, but it's nice to just get rid of those in the scanners so that people aren't freaked out by it. Yeah, this is another one. I guess influx is got some issues. Looks like we can bump it, and there's the patch version. Easy peasy. I'll throw that in the 322 milestone too. Yeah, and again, I think we're not actually using this, so very unlikely to be affected. Bird is not ready. So this guy says they are hitting issues on one node, which is usually an indication that that node is misconfigured in some way. Yeah, like the interface name is different, for example. What? Okay, they're using that.
Were all the nodes in the same subnet? They were, right?
I assume they are because they're using K3S, so I'm not sure that it can do that. That would be my normal go-to. Let's just do that, see what they say.
I would still love to find time to write a tool that just does some simple netcat tests and establishes what is and isn't reachable. I know I've talked about it before, just need to find the time to do it.
Yeah, I feel like I saw a tool like that some months ago. I think someone came and demoed it on one of the SIG network meetings. I'm not sure if
Cyclonus?
No, it's not. I don't think it's Cyclonus. I think it was something else. It was really just a like, we're going to launch a pod on these different nodes and have them all talk to each other and report back which ones work and which ones don't, sort of thing.
I mean, apart from the network policy part, that's pretty much exactly what Cyclonus does. It just doesn't do it over every node, and it does it with network policy instead.
Mhm.
I'd be surprised if there isn't some open source tool that does it already. You can just give it some YAML to tell it what ports you care about and what the nodes are. That's got to be a thing already. It's
Yeah,
such
exactly.
a Swiss Army knife need.
It'd be cool to have something like that for the operator and then be able to have it like check is BGP and the type of ports available between nodes. It'd be awesome.
Looks like Tomas is already on this one.
Made a note for myself to see if I can find something pre-existing.
Flex volume, driver call failed. No such file or directory.
What's the node OS?
Red Hat 7.9.
That's not one I recall as being funky.
Is there a known funkiness with this that you're thinking of?
I think we've hit this on flat car and the like, the ones with where big chunks of the file system are read only.
Yeah. I mean, this could be, I guess, SE Linux related.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. Just throw that on there. Seems likely to be some sort of OS level config issue.
Eric, I need to step away for 1 minute. Would you mind carrying on the notes for a sec?
I will try, yeah.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, I saw this one. It looks like it's an issue with pods accessing the API, and it's networking using the Azure network plugin. So I don't think that it's a Calico issue. I'm gonna leave it open for now and just follow these guys, because signs suggest that it's not our problem. last one. Trying out Calico ALP. / quit. Is the sidecar not gonna? Oh, so the problem is the sidecar just keeps running even after the original pod exits. Yeah, this sounds like something we need to look at. I guess that the job containers actually exit, but Decastes just keeps on running happily, and so the pod's never actually torn down. Cool. I think that was all of the issues I had found. The one last thing I wanted to call out while we were talking about issues was that we started curating this good first issue label a little bit better than we have in the past. So for folks who are newer and looking for ways to get involved and learn a little bit about the code base, this is a good way to do that. You can go to the issues page, label drop down, and go right to good first issue. Right now we've only got 9 in there. I'll keep adding more as I come across ones that look like straightforward enough fixes. So you can pick out any of these, say that you want to do it, and we'll help you work through that first PR process.
We have a similar tag in operator also. If operator is where your interests lie. Not as many issues though.
Probably about as many good first issues though. Anyway, that's all I had for issues. I had one shout out I wanted to give. So that's to Manuel Buil. I hope I'm saying that name correctly. He submitted the support for the dual stack host local plugin PR, which I think is really great and looks really good. So just wanted to say thank you for that.
I've got one as well, which is just a quick one, but Stanislav Kalenkin was the first person to complete the new CCO L2 eBPF course in shockingly quick time and aced the exam. So he must have done the material. So yeah, very impressive. And he was the first one through. So I just wanted to kind of say well done. I think it's possibly about 48 hours after I launched the course. It's not bad going.
Not at all. Cool. I think if that's it, I can do a very quick just showcasing of the new repo layouts. So let me share once again. I'll show, you should be able to see my terminal window here.
It's a
little small.
It's not shockingly large. If you were able to bump it a tiny bit, that'd be great. Yeah, that's better. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, that's all right. So Yeah, the summary here is pretty quick. We used to have a whole bunch of repositories that were all related and imported each other in awkward ways. And there are plenty of historical reasons for why that was the case. But we took advantage of this last quarter to kind of clean up some of that debt. And brought all of the code into one repository, which is the one you'd expect, GitHub Project Calico. The way that the first stage one of this looks is that we basically just have directories for each of the what used to be repositories. And we'll continue to evolve this over time, sort of moving code into more natural places. But for now, you can clone this repo, and then you'll have the entire Calico code base. You should be able to build any image that you want. So if you want to build Node, for example, you just run make in the Node repo. Same thing goes for Typha. If you want to make the entire thing, it's pretty straightforward as well. There's a target in the top level you can run, just make image, and it will kick off a full build of Calico, and you'll end up with all the images produced. So it should make developing new features like way easier. You don't have to swap between repos so much and coordinate PRs that way. I think the other thing to call out here is that as part of this, we also migrated all of the issues and everything from the old micro repos into the new Calico repo. So there's one place for PRs, one place for issues, and one place to do your development. Don't really have much to show here other than what it looks like. If you're familiar with the micro repo approach, it should look pretty familiar. But if there are any questions or anything that anybody wanted to see, I could show that. It's mostly just another FYI for anyone who hadn't spotted this yet.
Well, as you know, I have an intention to kind of improve my own understanding of it, and also to document that for newcomers. So when I get to the point of doing that, which will be hopefully not too long, I will probably have quite a few more questions for you, but yeah, not yet.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to working with you a little bit on that, and hopefully getting something a bit more comprehensive than this little sneak peek here. Yeah, a lot of it's still in some flux. Like I think we haven't fully updated the developer instructions in the repo and stuff yet. We have seen already even just an uptick in contributions. I think there were a number of folks who wanted to contribute things, but were kind of put off or couldn't quite figure out our old build system because it was a nasty mess. And now it's slightly less of one. So I'm just very excited about it.
Did we, well, have our readmes and all those, any build directions, all those been updated, do you know?
Not everything yet. So I think we have a contribution guideline doc that still needs to be moved to the right place and updated. It's on my list of things to do, but didn't want to do that just yet because we're still tweaking some things now that they're all put together, just to to get it to the right state. There are lots of things where tests were pulling in images produced by other repos that now they can just build locally and not need to pull from Docker Hub and all that sort of, like, all the interfaces between the different repos can be smoothed out a little bit. But that is a good question and is important and on my list and will be coming soon. Well, if there are no other topics, then I think we're at the end here. Next meeting is going to be second Wednesday of February, which is the 9th, it looks like. So I hope to see you all then.
Thanks very much, folks.
Catch you later.
See everybody.
Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye.